frailty? What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
To win the race, I can't even explain how, in fact, I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about it. No matter where you go, you're an Indy 500 winner. The only way to be successful in racing is to stay on top of the technical edge, and we've done that with our dealership. So a lot of the technology in our service department and sales processes, everything is the very latest. That gives you an edge. That's being competitive in the car business. You can take it any way you want, but that's the truth.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Red Menace TV. Leroy Lucero along with Michael Carlisle. How you
What's
doing,
up?
Mike?
I'm good, man.
Oh, what a weekend, huh? Did you enjoy the weekend?
I enjoy every weekend.
You
A bad weekend is better than a good weekday.
okay?
Any
all
day
right.
of the week.
I thought you really
pun
loved
intended.
like doing the sports bar and
Oh, I do. But
chilling with the folks,
you know what I love doing more than that?
kicking back, watching football.
Yeah.
And it was you and what, 3,000, 4,000 of your closest friends at University Dreamstyle Stadium.
They announced
Saturday.
12,006 something. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, there was 12,000 there. I'll tell you what, it's freaky. Last year, while it was summertime, they went ahead and made the decision to cut men's soccer and the swim and dive team and skiing, and then the women's volleyball, sand volleyball.
Sand volleyball, yeah.
And then they
Beach
brought the
volleyball.
sand volleyball back, or beach volleyball back. And at the time, I was like, hey, yeah, cut them because they're dead weight. I mean, the best that UNM soccer men's can get is 6,000 in their on the pitch, if you will. And who would have thunk that fast forward a year and all of a sudden men's football can't even get 5,000 legit.
They sold
In the stadium.
12,600 some odd tickets, dude.
Okay, great. They can't get anybody in the stadium. Nobody wants to go. I mean, it was crazy watching it on Facebook. By the way, I did watch it on Facebook. I did watch part of the game. And me and basically like 1,100 people is what, because you know how they have the little views and the numbers with the little eyeball there? And it was like 1.1K was like the highest that I saw on the feed that I was taking. That's not a lot of people.
Have you watched any other Facebook games to see what they're getting?
No, I haven't, but I would think, if you're going to have, 3,000, 4,000 in the stadium, maybe there'd be more people watching on Facebook.
Again, 12.6, dude. That's what they announced.
I don't
I
care
don't know
what
what
they
else to tell
announce.
you.
I'm talking about people in the stands. It's a joke. But that people aren't going. I mean,
But you're not going
I'm
either,
not.
so-
I refuse. I'm not going to go do that. It was cold. I'm not, and I know I sound
It
like
wasn't cold Saturday.
it was cold Saturday.
No, it was not. Saturday was a beautiful day.
It was too cold to go watch a team get their. I was going to say something kind of mean, but I'll just say butts kicked.
They lost by 2 touchdowns. That's not exactly
Yeah,
a
I know.
butt whooping.
They snuck back after Hawaii took the gas completely off the pedal. But when the game was actually,
The foot off
was
the
it
pedal.
it or foot,
Yeah.
whatever, gas off the pedal, foot off the. They could have taken. They took
You should-
everything off the pedal.
You just pulled a Trujillo.
I
there.
know. I feel dumb about that. It's like all of a sudden I feel like my hair is going to grow curly and I'll have a hat
Yeah.
backwards on my head. But it was just like watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, was the game ever in doubt? It's funny because
No, to answer, not really. No.
maybe
No.
at opening kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, early.
Once the clock started moving, it was out
after
of-
the look, but by the end of the first quarter, to answer your question honestly, no, the game was never really in doubt. The Lobos did make it close. If I remember correctly, Hawaii pulled their starting quarterback twice and put him back in. So yeah, your analogy, butchered as it may have been, about taking the foot off the gas, you're not wrong on that.
Yeah.
But and at this point, you're trying to find little nuggets of goodness wherever you can. Lobos didn't quit playing. They didn't quit fighting.
Okay.
But no, I'm with you. The game was never really in
I mean,
doubt.
it was just watching it. It was just like, this is Hawaii.
What you got against Hawaii, man?
I'm just saying Hawaii. It's Hawaii. It's Hawaii football.
They're 5-3.
Not Hawaii 5-0, Hawaii football.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like you're not going to get any more camera shots the rest of the show because if I recall correctly, our beloved director Alden is from Hawaii.
He's
Hawaiian.
but he didn't play Hawaiian football.
So
He's just
here
from
it is.
Hawaii.
Red Menace TV, Michael Carlisle, and
As
the voice off to the side who you don't get to see, and deep down you're probably thankful you don't. So, hey.
That's great. That's great. No, I'm just saying Hawaii,
I know what you're saying.
for history,
Right.
never does well on the mainland. They just never have.
But they're good this year.
They're okay.
They're 5-3.
Well, yeah, they'll go to a bowl, right?
Yeah.
They have to only win one more game.
Right.
They could come back for the New Mexico Bowl.
My guess is before that happens,
be in the Hawaii Bowl.
they'll stay on the islands.
Well,
and
I mean,
play in
why
the
would
bowl
you
here.
not? I mean,
Yeah.
is that good for them? Or I mean, if you're
Yeah.
a Hawaiian player, would you be like, I'd rather travel somewhere? You know, because like the players like to travel. That's part of the allure of a bowl.
Yes and no, but dude, here, have you ever been to Hawaii?
No, I never have. I know you do. They give you
Hawaii,
an all-expense paid
right.
trip.
Well, Hawaii is a wonderful place.
Yeah.
It is a pain in the rear end to get to. It is a pain in the rear end to get back from. Yeah, so to answer your question, no, they're probably happy. Hey, we get to play in a bowl game, and we don't have to hop on a 6-hour flight just to get to the mainland.
Yeah.
And then fly to whatever exotic locale in December that we're going to go play this bowl
Like
game at.
Boise Potato Bowl or the Arizona Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
Look, all due respect to Boise, which, by the way, is one of my favorite cities in the conference. It's just a neat place.
But in December, it's probably
But
not.
in December, would you rather play in Hawaii
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah.
home
No, I feel
or
you.
play in cold Boise?
Yeah, no, I totally feel you on that. I'm just saying, I just wonder if they'd rather just get off the island and go chill somewhere else and check. We've been to San Francisco. Well, one of the coldest winters I ever stayed was when we went to the San Francisco Bowl. The Lobos did, and I went to that game. It was cold.
Didn't you get kicked out of that bowl
I
game?
did get kicked out of that one. I snuck back in, though, because that's the way I roll.
They're like, oh, wait, that guy looks just like the other guy with the makeup on that we kicked
Well, no,
out.
I had
But
to
it
wa-
can't be him.
I washed, and then I just waved to the cop as I walked by. Hi, I'm back. Just hello. You just don't know who I am. This was back in the day. Anyways, so the game itself.
You've changed since
I've
then.
changed a lot since then.
All right.
My hair's white. What did you think of the game itself? I mean, Tuioti,
He was okay. 293 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions.
one of them was a pick six.
Yeah. The other one was late in the game. They were trying to force something.
Was that the one he threw into triple coverage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're trying to force something at that
Yeah.
point, trying to mount a comeback. You know, you don't have a lot of time. Here's the thing. You got to keep playing Tuioti. You got to continue to get him reps. You got to find out what you've got in him. And there were some good moments, but he, like pretty much the rest of the team, really slow start. And when you're down 21-3 after 1 quarter of play, you dig yourself such a hole. Even when you do start playing better in the second half, by the time you get it respectable and can kind of maybe start making a threat, you've used so much energy doing that, you're done.
I thought Amari Davis had a good game.
Sure he did. He ran for 200 yards.
I mean, that's a good game.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a really good.
Yeah,
game.
well, I mean, and it's not necessarily the yardage because a lot, some of that, but it was just the way he ran, though. It was like definitely he was pounding and definitely that. I thought that was pretty good watching him.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing, and we've talked about this, I think, all season long. We've talked about it for years now. There's pieces on this team that are pretty good. There's a few pieces, I think, that are in there. I don't know. You tell me, do you think they've settled on Tuioti? I mean, will the next coach have Tuioti at quarterback, or will he start looking for somebody else?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But barring injury, and I'm not saying you're not going to see Trey Hall at some point because you probably will.
You probably will. You got to see what he has.
But right now you got to find out what you've got in Tuioti. And look, let's be really honest. At 2-6, lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, you're not going to win another game the rest of the year. I'll say it.
That's very possible. That's very possible. Although
Probable.
they have a decent chance on Saturday at Nevada. More on that in a little bit. But right now, you're trying to find out what you've got in Tuioti. Is he what you think he is, but hasn't really been able to show on a consistent basis on the field in game situations? You got to find that out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have my thoughts on Tuioti. I think he's a good quarterback. I think there's some tools there. His mechanics seem kind of off. He throws off his, and we've talked about this for years, he throws off his back foot a lot, or fading away, which I know that's like the new thing, especially with like a guy like Mahomes doing it in the pros. But not everyone has that arm and that ability like a Patrick Mahomes in the professional league. And so he overthrows a lot of his receivers. A lot of his balls hang up there, which allows the defensive backs to basically close and pick off, or at least knock the ball out. We've talked about, I think the running game, this is the best two running backs in Carroll and Davis that I think Davies had in a while.
In at least a few years.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
I think I do think that the tight end is probably one of the better. Marcus Williams. I think he's one of the best tight ends UNM's had, probably since Rocky Long. I think he's got good hands. He runs good routes. He uses his body properly to shield off defenders. I think he's really good. I think you can build an offense with those pieces. The offensive line's okay. They're not great, but they're not horrible either. They're okay. And I think there's some danger guys on the edge. I think Kress. I think, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
I think
Jordan Kress.
I think he's pretty good. I know that he went down with injury early. I can't think of his name, from Valley High School.
Elijah Lilly?
No, he went down a couple weeks ago. I can't think of his name now. The other wide receiver. He's from Valley High School. He went JC, and then he just got here. He went down in the first quarter. I can't think of his name, though. Anyways, I think he's so good, I can't even remember his name. How about that? I'm old. I told you.
You're really selling this,
Things have
Leroy.
changed. No, I'm just saying. I think there's pieces there on the offense. Defensive, I mean, I think there's a couple of linebackers that are pretty decent, and I think there's a couple of blitzing safeties that are really good. Other than that, I think the defense is kind of rough. They still can't get pressure on the quarterback. And it's funny because last week, and I texted you midway through the game, because I said you said, well, they're going to have problems with the pass. They had problems with the run.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they had real problems with the run. The pass, they got them there too, but the run crushed them.
Hawaii ran for 255 yards, and that's a passing team. But in a big way. Look, the defense isn't very good. I mean,
no surprise.
Are there some pieces there? Well, we knew it was going to be a challenge coming in, I think. And frankly, you haven't seen a whole lot of improvement from game to game. Now, there's been some here and there, and Bob Davies certainly points those out whenever he gets the chance. But by and large, you haven't seen a lot of improvement there. You factor that in with slow starts offensively every game and really being challenged to score points on a consistent basis. That's a recipe for disaster when you can't score points and you can't stop teams from scoring points. I mean, look, I don't have a PhD or anything, but all the studying I've done, all the hypotheses and theories and papers I've written, that makes it really hard to win football games.
Yeah, it really does. They got a good punter.
They do.
I think he punts pretty well.
He gets a lot of reps.
Well, they did put one punter in the NFL. Maybe they could put another one in. Yeah. Be pretty good. Why don't we take a quick break? We'll talk a little bit about Nevada, maybe some Lobo basketball, and maybe where the future of Lobo football is going to be. I mean, a lot of rumors swirling around. You said they're just rumors. We'll talk about that when we come back with more Red Menace TV.
Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy. It's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
Going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
Smith.
replay to
Yeah, I
just
got
get
you.
the measurement. I mean,
Smith's got a fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. And looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11. And spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
He'll throw it. Looking. Here comes the rush. Stepping up. Pavia now running around. Being chased. Looks across. Throws it up and wide open. Ball is caught. Touchdown. Jimmy Guyett. Dropping, looking, stepping up. He's going to run. He's got a lot of green in front of him. To the end zone. Touchdown. Rio Rancho, Isaiah Chavez. Chavez set. He's going to run with it again and dives and...
It's Austin Smith, and to the outside, a lot of room. Look out. A foot race down the sideline. All the way on the first play from scrimmage, Chris. That's a touchdown.
Scrambling. And off. Great hit. He bounces off. Outside. Got some daylight at the 20, the 10, the 5. What an incredible run.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to Red Menace TV. So I think I would say I'm the more emotional one, you know, as far as a Lobo football fan, because, well, you're part of the media. You really are. And I'm more of an emotional guy, I think, when it comes to Lobo football. Not all sports, but I think Lobo football. And I kind of feel like right now there's no hope for UNM football under the current situation with the administration and the staff and everything else. And I mean, I've put lipstick on a pig before with Lobo football. I mean, there was the Mike Loxley years, let's be honest. I can't put lipstick on this pig right now. And I know, you know, you kind of bust my hump a little bit about not going to get. I mean, I'm not going to waste my time in going and see something like that. I said it over the summer, and I'm going to stick with that. I said it last year. You can't expect fans to shell out hard-earned money when you know that it's just like there's nothing going on. I mean, at this point, what's the hope or future for UNM football? Just hang out until we can get enough money to let Bob Davie go?
Well, I think the hope is you find a way to get better. And whether that is with the coaching change, whether that's getting better players, a combination of those two things, I mean, that's your hope and future. Look, there's no doubt the season hasn't gone well. And, I mean, and that's probably being kind. And with the 4 teams left on the schedule, finding more wins, you know, even getting, you might not get there, right?
Past 3 seasons haven't gone that well.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said past season.
I said the past few.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
And actually, specifically, I said this season, and it hasn't. But you're right, coming off back-to-back 3-9 seasons, right now you've got 2 wins. You're 2-6 with 4 games left. And Nevada might be your best chance to get a win of those 4, and it's a road game. And it's never easy to win in this conference, even if you're a good team. So, yeah, as far, especially speaking for the rest of this year, the hope is you start to see some improvement, some things you can build on for next year.
So you got, Davey has 2 more years left on contract.
After the season, yes.
Okay, after the season, 2 more years. That kind of stunts recruiting. So we were talking a little bit about some of the local recruits here, specifically Dorian Lewis, coming off of a major knee injury and surgery and stuff. Coach Reinauer hasn't used him as a workhorse like he had prior to the injury. Prior to the injuries, he was starting to get some major D1 scholarship offers.
Sure.
Okay. This year, recruiting's kind of been a little bit, as D1 coaches are kind of like, do we want to give the kid a shot? Do we want to gamble on this guy? UNM should be all over him. I mean, they should have an assistant coach there almost every practice. He's that talented. If he comes back to the way he was, you have the potential for a major D1 caliber running back for the future. And right now, it's just like, I think things are in such a disarray. I think recruiting has to be taking a beating. I mean, how could anyone think Bob Davy's going to be here longer than 2 years, and even longer than 1 year? I mean, do they fire him now?
If I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is they should offer Bob Davy an extension.
Well, so honestly, I mean, seriously, you get.
I know that's not what you're saying.
You're saying it jokingly, but the reality is, it's at that point where you either offer the extension or you let him go. Because now I know the buyout, and we've talked about that ad nauseum, but you either have to offer an extension or cut him loose because it's that it's that no man's land.
It is. You're right. You're 100% right. It is when you see a coach who's got 2 years left on his contract. It is hard to get recruits to commit to 4 years when you don't know if the coach is going to be there. You also factor in, like we just talked about, 2 straight 3-9 seasons, and then whatever this year winds up. There is a lot of uncertainty.
And
to be fair, I'm going to go out on a limb here. My guess is he has not offered a contract extension. But as to what you've been calling for a couple of years now, is he let go? I don't know.
I guess the only hope is that he kind of does like a Mike Loxley who renegotiated the buyout if he's fired. I don't know if Davey has that same sort of I mean, that's tough to ask someone. I mean, we're talking couple $100,000 difference.
True. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And now maybe ultimately it's not his decision.
Yeah.
But if Bob Davy wasn't planning on being here at least 2 more years after this year, would he have come back after the medical situation?
I don't know.
My guess would be probably not. That would have been your out to ride out in the sunset. Hey, we won in our last game. I really had high hopes for the season, but I just can't do it anymore. That would have been his out.
Maybe he did have high hopes at that point.
Yeah, but my point is, from his standpoint, I think he is planning on being here 2 more years.
But like sand through the hourglass, that hope is kind of.
Oh, look, I hear you. But my point is, if that's your plan to be here 2 more years and they don't want that, are you going to be that
right? No, that's
amendable to negotiating a school favorable buyout?
Yeah, and
maybe.
And honestly, when Loxley did that, it was before his final year, and then it was like, if you fire me, it's going to be. But he felt kind of like you're saying about Bob Davy. I have hopes that I'm going to turn it around this upcoming season. Then when it didn't happen, it was like, okay, let him go.
All right, a little bit different situation there.
A little bit. Not really.
It was, and here's why. What was the final straw for the Loxley situation?
Well, they lost to Sam Houston State, and then the recruit was driving his son's car.
Wasn't a recruit, friend of his son.
Or friend of his son was driving.
Kid was driving his car and got a DWI. At that point in time, the school could have really pushed for, hey, we're firing you, and it's for cause. We're not buying you out. So that was a situation where Loxley had to, and look, maybe he was ready to get out too at that point.
Yeah.
But he was in a situation where he had to be more receptive to renegotiating the buyout.
Well, he renegotiated the buyout the summer before that.
Okay.
It was before that because they were coming off 2 1-11 seasons.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And
I remember very well.
Loxley felt that this was going to be the year that they were going to do it, and of course they didn't do it, and then that thing happened. But I mean, let's be honest, it's not like Bob Davy off the field hasn't had issues himself. I mean, he was suspended for basically spring ball. You know what I mean?
No, I remember.
I mean, and there's been other allegations, and then you
I
have
remember.
player issues.
I
and,
remember.
You know, it's not like they haven't been off the police blotter. We just had an issue just a couple, not.
Look, you can't blame Bob Davey because a player allegedly was driving around in a parking garage.
Practicing the stretch offense.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine. I mean, look, let's be
Sophomoric
honest.
jokes. I like them.
There are a lot of things you can blame Bob Davey for. You can't blame Bob Davey for that.
Well, can you blame Mike Loxley for his son lending some kid, his friend, his car, and he crashes it or gets a DWI? It's the same sort of thing.
It's really not.
Yeah, because one's a felony and the other one's a DWI. I don't think DWI is a felony, is it? I don't remember.
It depends on what you breathe.
The severity?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying, it's not apples to oranges. It's maybe like being cherries to yellow cherries.
You couldn't have just went
It's
red
just a
apples
weird-
to green apples?
Okay, red apples to green apples. You
Right.
like that one better.
Yeah.
Look, I'm still figuring out how to take the gas off the pedal, okay? You want me to figure out red and green apples? Give me a break here. No.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying, I don't see the Lobos winning. I put a tweet out today
Oh, Lord. I haven't checked Twitter.
that I said the longer that Bob Davey stays, and I mean, I know they had a friendly or whatever, a jovial press conference yesterday. It just makes UNM look bad to have a guy that you know there's no future with having him here. How long do you hold on to this? I mean, if there was, what did you say, 12,000?
They announced 12,600 something.
I mean, how many tickets, and that was homecoming. The next, I don't even know who the next home game is.
Air Force.
Okay. I mean, how many do you see showing up for that? I mean, you had
About 12,600 and some.
Okay, your tickets sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing up. What do you have?
Maybe even
$2,000. Oh wait, there might
maybe
be
even a little more
because
of
of
their Air Force
base.
bases.
That's right. Okay, so that might save them a little bit, but I mean, you know, once again, the cadets will take over the field. They'll take over the stadium, and then of course by the halftime, I mean, is it over?
Okay. I hear you, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with anything you just said. What's the solution?
I think you're going to have to make a move.
And then what?
I know it costs money.
And then what?
I've already said you go find yourself a young coordinator, someone that has some ties to New Mexico.
Like who?
I've said Zach Arnett.
Who's currently at San Diego State?
He's at San Diego
Rocky?
State, second year as a defensive coordinator coach. They're leading the nation in interceptions the past 5 years. They're in the top 10 in most defensive categories across the country. The guy's been with Rocky for quite a few years. He played here. He's a La Cueva grad. The guy's got, he's got some juice in the state. I mean, look, it's not like Bob Davies has set the recruiting world afire here. You know, if we can start recruiting in state and maybe outside, let's do it. A guy like Zach's going to be a heck of a lot cheaper than going and getting some retread off the trash heap to come in here.
When's the last time you took a pay cut to take another job? Willingly. Now, I'm not talking about you lost a job and needed a job. When's the last time you willingly left a job for another one and took a pay cut?
I totally hear what you're saying, but there is a difference in getting your first head coaching gig and being an assistant coach.
There's also a big difference in making about $200,000 to $300,000 less a year than what you become accustomed to.
And you're talking a Danny Gonzalez, I think, at Arizona State. I'm talking Zach Arnett at San Diego State.
And I don't know what Zach's making there, but my guess is he would not get a pay raise to come here to be head coach.
Well, I mean, it would be a little bit more. But the other thing is, it puts you on the path. It puts you on the path of a head coaching gig where you take that first job as a head coach in hopes of moving on up the ranks. And I think originally Bob Davey probably felt that way because he was trying to resurrect his career, and it didn't work out. But hey, we're out of time, so we didn't even get to talk NFL Lobo basketball. We're going to turn it over to Micah Frankel and CageMinds.com. For Michael Carlisle, for Alden Iowani. Sorry about the diss on Hawaii. This is Leroy Lucero. We'll see you next week. God bless you all.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
The world-famous Laguna Burger is beautifully handcrafted. A burger that's created from certified Angus beef, sinfully cooked to juicy perfection, and garnished with New Mexico's Hatch green chili. Tempt your taste buds with mouth-watering fresh ingredients.
Cut! We're gonna need another Laguna Burger. Try the irresistible, world-famous Laguna Burger. Visit thelagunaburger.com. It's fresh with a kick. Take 32.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlings, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Welcome to the place we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Cage Minds on a BMF Fight Week. The UFC back in the Big Apple at Madison Square Garden for the fight that we're all been in big anticipation of. Not to mention, of course, the most attention-grabbing boxer that we have going right now, Canelo Alvarez. He is back on DAZN. A lot going on this weekend, but before we get to all that, we have highlights. So let's check out the action from last weekend. There was a Bellator doubleheader in Connecticut. A lot to talk about when we can roll those highlights. Bellator was in Connecticut, but we started out in Indonesia with Dawn of Valor. Reagan Ursel retaining the kickboxing title in the co-main event with a decision win over Nikki Holtzkin and a new welterweight champion crowned. As I mentioned, a doubleheader in Connecticut. You have Ilara Jordan ruining the return to MMA action of bare knuckle boxing champion Beck Rollins getting the submission victory with the knee bar in the second round. Controversial decision victory, getting stunned. I mean stunned 3 times hard in the first round. Able to implement his wrestling in the second and getting knocked down in the third. Somehow Ed Ruth is back in the win column, spoiling the great performance of Jason Jackson. Some bad judging there, unfortunately costing a big one. Phil Davis back in the win column and really looking better than ever. The striking looked crisp and clean, got the much-needed takedown, and secured the TKO on the ground. And in the main event, it was Big Country Roy Nelson, Frank Mir, basically going toe-to-toe for 3 rounds, inside leg kicks. The story of success for Frank Mir in being able to pick up the decision victory, able to survive being on his back late, Nelson getting a desperate takedown, but Frank Mir in all outpointing, getting the victory. The next morning, Singapore, UFC Fight Night, yes, in the morning, over there continuing the global expansion. Heavyweight to keep your eyes on, Sergey Pavlich, his second win side of the octagon. Big strikes, stunning Maurice Green, hurting him 3 times there in the first round, able to get the finish on the ground. Rafael Fitz, this is a lightweight with some dynamic, crisp striking, training out of Tiger Muay Thai and just dismantled Alex White. Cyril Gane, remember the name, the next big thing at heavyweight. A French kickboxer who has 2 UFC victories by submission. Latest heavyweight submission in UFC history, 4 minutes, 46 seconds, picking up the heel hook. The Frenchman is someone to remember, someone to keep an eye on, a heavy hitter with a dynamic grappling game. Then the rest of the card was brought to you by the rear naked choke. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ace, the technical kickboxer Benil Dariush is able to take the fight against brawling Frank Camacho into the grappling round, securing the rear naked choke finish. And in the main event, I gave it away, the battle of grapplers would be won by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, putting to sleep the wrestler Ben Askren. A dirty fight on the feet. There it was, the technical submission, putting Askren to sleep. Once they got to the ground, once you had the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu initiated, Askren gave up his back. It was all Damian Maia who has called out Diego Sanchez. Go over to Bellator 232, back in Connecticut, the second part of that doubleheader. In stunning upset fashion, Oklahoma's Manny Moreau, who trained here, ended his camp at the Jackson Wink Academy, pulls off the upset, out-grappling submission expert Nick Newell for the decision victory. Talking about submission experts, Patchy Mix makes it 2 for 2 in the Bellator cage, getting the submission hook. That is a nasty, nasty knee bar of short notice replacement, Isaiah Chapman. Short notice replacement Syed Awad was no match for the power striking of Paul Semtex Daly. That vicious left hand would go boom. A valiant effort on day's notice from Awad, who I'd like to see continue at 170, but a great win for Daly. And then we have the finals of the welterweight Grand Prix, where Douglas Lima would exact his revenge, get his belt back, a 3-time now Bellator welterweight champion, a unanimous decision, a composed strategic striking effort from Lima, the leg kicks. I don't know if Rory McDonald will ever be the same from the fights that he's had with Robbie Lawler, with Douglas Lima. A big one for Lima that puts him into contention for, is he possibly the top welterweight in the world? Boxing also this weekend, the finals of the World Super Series. And your new bantamweight champion is Josh Taylor, picking up WBA, IBF, that big Super Series belt. More boxing for you. Jason Sanchez back in the win column. He did it there in Reno on ESPN Plus against Adelson dos Santos, 4th round TKO. It was a nasty left hook to the liver, a follow-up little tap that puts him down. The main event there on ESPN Plus, Shakur Stevens Joet Gonzalez. The much anticipated heated rivalry was a one-sided fight dominated by Stevens, picking up the WBO featherweight title. It was a big weekend of action, some big championship fights there in the boxing world. Stevens just dominating what was a grudge match. Singapore, Maya coming out on top with his grappling expertise. Lima, the $1 million, the welterweight title, the welterweight Grand Prix, submitting his claim to being one of the best welterweights on the planet. It was an exciting weekend, and we got a lot of more to talk about as this weekend we have some great action. Starting tonight, UFC Fight Pass. It's Warrior Way Wednesday. Jesse Bazzi versus Eric Shelton is the main event. Not to mention also UFC vet Jared Brooks is also on the card. Chris Brown, we had showed you in the interview last week. Unfortunately, as the case for him, fight has been canceled. Opponent pulled out. Thursday night, more MMA action. You got PFL 2019, event number 9. It's the last of the playoffs. See who will be battling for the last 4 spots for $1 million. We're talking about light heavyweights and heavyweights, names like Alex Nicholson, Jared Rosha, Satasi Isho, Emilio Sorde, Jordan Johnson, and Vinny Magalesh, all to be in action. ESPN Plus, ESPN2. Friday night, you have Invicta FC 38 over back on UFC Fight Pass. Mallory Martin faces Cynthia Sin Arceo, the former King of the Cage champion. We've interviewed her many times on Cage Minds on the website. We've got a new one up with her talking about this debut. That's a great one at 115 pounds. 115-pound vacant title fight. 125-pound champion Vanessa Porto defending her title with the 3-fight win streak, making her first defense against Karina Rodriguez in the main event. To the boxing world, you're going to have Miguel Marshot, 36-1-2, defending his title, his WBC junior lightweight title against Jason Sosa, and Sergey Kovalev defends his WBO light heavyweight title against Canelo Alvarez on DAZN. All leading us up to that BMF fight in the Big Apple, Diaz Masvidal, ESPN Plus pay-per-view. 170-pound bout, but not the 170-pound welterweight title fight. Do have two guys that are high-ranked up there. Masvidal comes in as the number 3 contender. Diaz as the number 7 contender. More than anything, 2 huge superstars. Masvidal coming in off of the flying knee knockout of Ben Askren, the fastest knockout in UFC history. 15 knockouts overall, 2 submission victories for Masvidal, back-to-back knockout victories. Well, Diaz comes in with 11 submissions, 5 knockout victories, has won 3 of his last 4 fights. The victories have been amazing performances. The loss was an ever so slim split decision to Conor McGregor. These are 2 guys that have been fighting for years, 2 OGs of this MMA game. Masvidal over 40 fights, approaching that 50 number. Diaz going to be heading into his 32nd fight on paper. You guys know what that means. You also have the middleweight co-main event. Kelvin Gastelum, number 4 ring, welcomes Darren Till, former welterweight title contender. Gastelum, the tough 17 winner. Till comes in 10 wins by knockout, a huge heavy hitter. You also got a welterweight action. Number 9, Stephen Thompson takes on number 14, Vicente Luque. Heavyweight action, number 4 ranked contender Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, taking on number 8, Bagloy Ivanov, the former World Series of Fighting heavyweight champion. A dark horse in the lightweight division opens up the main card. Unbeaten 13-0, Gregor Gillespie welcomes back to lightweight Kevin Lee, who's never lost his number 10 ranking. On the prelims, you see number 7, Corey Anderson in the light heavyweight division taking on number 11, Johnny Walker, as John Bones Jones wants an entertaining kind of challenge. Both guys are on big win streaks. Anderson 3 in a row, Walker 9 in a row. Walker 14 wins by knockout. Anderson outworks everybody. You got number 12 ranked Shane Burgos taking on Amakwan Americani. Burgos, amazing clean boxing. Americani, a spectacular Brazilian jiu-jitsu ace. one of the top prospects in the middleweight division. Number 13, Edwin Shabazian, 10-0, takes on number 11, Brad Tavares, a technical kickboxer, while Shabazian is a hunter for the finish. Andrei Arlovsky is on the card taking on Gennaro Rosunto, who is 8-0 with 7 wins by knockout. In the women's flyweight division, Caitlin Shikagian, the number 1 contender, faces Jennifer Maia, the number 5 contender. Could we see a challenger for Valentina Shevchenko crowned right there? Opening up the night, Julio Arce takes on Hakeem Dawodu. That is at 145 pounds, and I tell you, that one is going to be a blistering affair on the feet. Not to mention, I forgot almost though, Lyman Good, a heavy hitter, the former first ever Bellator welterweight champion, takes on spectacular grappler, Native American representative Chance Renencounter. Saw him do amazing work at UFC 239. So it is a huge weekend UFC action. We had the great Bellator card last weekend. Can't wait to see what Canelo Alvarez does, moving up 2 weight classes. And again, Masvidal Diaz is finally upon us. It's going to be a great fight. But there's still local action to also talk about, if we can hit that real quick. Don't forget, Friday night, live, Marriott Pyramid, Havoc Showdown, Donald Sanchez, Jordan Garcia, Maurice Jackson versus Sadaya Parker. Interviews with both of them up at CageMinds.com. Sante Giron, Lorenzo Benavides versus Irish Bryant McLean, and Antonio Tone Martinez in the main event. A great card Friday night. Join us for the weigh-ins Thursday at the Ramada on Manal and University, 2 p.m., free and open to the public. Saturday, kickboxing action, 6900 Gonzales Road Southwest. That's Alamosa Community Center. Nowhere to Run 3. NG Enterprises LLC presenting, and Cage Minds Combat Sports News is where you can watch the event, the Facebook stream. And then ProView Networks the following Saturday, November 9th. Legacy Boxing Promotions presents New Era. Joshua Torres in the main event. Juan Jesus Rivera Garza coming down to try to stun the hometown favorite. Angel Baby will be on the card. Amy Salinas. Great co-main event with Wedo Sanchez taking on Isaac Luna. It all happens at Tingley Coliseum. And we got a lot more to talk about Nowhere to Run 3 when we get back after a short commercial break.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Back at it again, my friend.
Joined by Nick Gonzalez, CEO of NG Enterprises LLC, going to be presenting Nowhere to Run 3 this Saturday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, November 2nd, it's going to be a lot of fun. Come out, support your favorite local fighter. We got all kinds of gyms going down, brother. Name them. JW, Latrell's, AMMMA, A&K Muay Thai from Santa Fe. We got Alpha Ape, Get Cut MMA, like just tons and tons. Zia Fight Club coming down, bringing a grappler. So how cool is that? You know what I mean?
Fully encompassing the whole state.
Oh, everybody. This is about building New Mexico talent. This is just about bringing all the gyms together on a neutral zone, being able to just rock and roll, express their fighters. Their fighters got an avenue that it's about them, about the fighter, and just putting it out there, man. And nowhere to run, brother. We doing it, baby. You gonna be there, right?
I'm gonna be there. We're gonna be streaming Cage Minds Combat Sports News, so you can watch the event if you can't make it out live to the new venue.
To the new venue, yeah, man. To the new venue. We're indoors this time. I know the past 2 shows were outdoor. Dodged a couple of bullets on the last one, right? You know what I mean?
Avoiding the rain, avoiding the wind.
It rained all the way around us. It was so awesome. You know what I mean?
It was raining after the weigh-ins as we're all scrambling to put around the tarp around the rain.
Yeah, so this one will be indoors, 6900 Gonzales Southwest at the Alamosa Community Center. It's going to be super awesome, man. Doors open at 5, first fight's at 6. We're gonna rock and roll. We got the food trucks coming out, man. It's gonna be awesome. Great show. Oh, I got a photo booth, y'all. A photo booth. Come out. Totally free photos. Come out, man. Take pictures with family, friends, your favorite fighter, or your team, whatever. Totally free. It's gonna be popping them out all night long from 6 to 9. It's gonna be a blast. Make sure you get your photos in, man. Photo booth, food trucks, great fights all night long. Grappling matches, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, so give us the card. What are we looking forward to? Like number of fights, first off.
Number of fights. We have 15 right now, and we're still trying to get a couple matches that we're sitting on. We've had fights fall off, fights pop on, and with all that, we have 14 straight up kickboxing fights. No, I gotta rephrase that, but we're gonna say 14 stand-up fights and 1 grappling match right now. We are looking for another grappler out there. Come on, give me a 145, 155er. I know it's short notice. 1 round, 6 minutes, submission only, referee decision if you don't get the work done. But it is what it is. Come on out. Anybody want to get some? You know what I mean? This weekend, 1 more grappler. It'd be great to have you. And yeah, any team, anybody, come on out, man. It'd be a lot of fun.
Now, according to Cody Hofstetter, who I talked to, who's going to be joining me for commentary, just like he did last time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That we have some new rules.
Great, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, the new rules are not going to be in effect. Yes, because I talked to the New Mexico Athletic Commission. I didn't present them in time, so November 12th, I will sit down at the New Mexico Athletic Commission and present the new rules. So unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's okay. The old rules work. They were really good. We're just learning from our shows and starting to make the proper modifications that we have the best shows possible, you know, with the best avenues for the fighters. We got so many other avenues looking up that fighters want to just do stand-up now, right? You know what I mean? And that's awesome with the Lions fight, Glory, 1FC, like everybody's putting it on. So it's just like, bam, let's rock and roll, man.
So tell us a little bit more where you said not kickboxing, but stand-up matches. What does that mean? What's the difference?
Right. I just mean by that is because not all of them are going to be kickboxing. We do have some that are modified Muay Thai rules. So there will be elbows, there will be knees, you know, and so a few fights are going to have elbows and knees. It should be pretty awesome.
With elbow pads, knee pads?
With elbow pads, with knee pads, with headgear. We're still there. You know, you guys are amateurs. A lot of them are, they're only their very first fight, a lot of them. So come on out, show your support for them. They need it. It's tough to get in there in front of a great crowd like New Mexico and perform well. I mean, we have so many great fighters come out of New Mexico. It's like, I don't want anybody to feel pressure. Just come out and support them. Yeah, man, all padded up for this one. They got plenty of time to throw unpadded elbows and knees in their career. And again, it's like their first fights. Who knows if they want to keep going with this, right? Let's take care of them. Some people got to work the next day or on Monday. You know, they're still going to be really awesome fights. They always have been, right? The past 2 shows.
Been good shows, been action-packed, been surprising actually how much technique we've seen. Expected a lot more brawling. I thought we'd see a lot more kind of unbridled excitement. We've seen a lot more composure than anticipated.
Absolutely, absolutely. There were some really good fights out there, and man, just some really talented people passing through the ring, making their steps into their combat careers. And man, we're just honored to be a part of that, man. There's a lot of them out there and just doing really good stuff, man. 14 stand-up fights on this one, my guys. New Mexico, I'm so proud of you. Texas, thank you so much for sending out your team as well. AMMA coming from Texas. Let's show them some support too, man. It's awesome. Oh, can I mention that we have 2 youth bouts on the card? How cool is that? 2 youth, 10 years old and 13 years old. Bang, 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 right? We got 2 10-year-olds fighting. We got 2 13-year-olds fighters. Perez is representing the kid, you know, Bryce. I'm going to get to do an interview with him. Look out for that. I'm excited about that. But yeah, man, we got kids from Santa Fe, kids from Berlin, and kids from Texas about to throw down, man. So that is cool, man. You know what I mean? I'm digging that.
And one more time, I loved it last time, bringing in the grapplers.
Bringing in the grapplers, we love it. New Mexico Athletic Commission, thank you so much for letting us just bring that whole balance and array of combat sports and everybody. And yeah, man, we got some grapplers coming in. I want another grappling match. Who wants to grapple out there? And if not, that's okay. We got a solid grappling match. I'm pumped about it. That'll be about halfway through the show, so don't miss out. The official lineup is not out yet, but it will be. I'll be posting it very soon. I have it very close. I'm just making a few arrangements. But I'm excited, man. We got a lot of gyms, a lot of fighters. So
just in case if you've been wondering why Nick's doing the interviewing of all the fighters and not me, because he's the one with the fight card. But yeah, at the weigh-ins, we're going to be taking care of that. I'm going to grab everybody.
Yeah. He's so busy though, right, everybody? He's at every single event, man. Let's give him a break. I know he can't make it everywhere. I have no problem getting out there talking to the fighters. I want to meet them too. I want to, you know, I'm a fan of the sport as well. But yeah, man, we can't put it all on him, right? Even though he's the best out there, we can't put it all on him. So I go out there, do the simple ones, and then when we need the man, we got the man. You know what I mean?
First time I talked to you, brought you on Red Menace, we were talking about this. There was a lot of goals, a lot of aspirations for the outset of NG Enterprises. How do you feel so far you've done with what you've accomplished here with Nowhere to Run?
Man, I feel great. It's total accomplishments. It's our third show in this year. We started this year, right? And we're already on our third show. You know, and it's just about giving back to the fighters, giving that avenue. And when, you know, New Mexico is big on that. If they see you're real, if they see you're committed, if they see you're about, you know, really what we say we're about, New Mexico always supports. More and more fighters start coming out. You see. You know, in the past cards, some of our cards have shrunken down. We've been over here and we end up with 7 or 8. This time we're in a 14, 15, 16 bouts. It's amazing. It's awesome. We're still putting it together. You know, I still have a couple of names just floating out there, and it's just amazing, man. New Mexico is really, really coming through. I think all the gyms, the fans, everybody are seeing that Nowhere to Run is a legit promotion. We're here. We're sanctioned. We're pushing. You know what I mean? We're looking. We're out there. We're giving avenues to New Mexico fighters and surrounding states. We got to find our next champion, right or wrong. We got to find our next champion out there. Who's going to carry that torch for New Mexico? Because I mean, we're legit. We're legit.
And what do you feel the feedback has been? I'm blown away by Texas. Texas is coming here to fight for some amateurs in kickboxing. Nowhere to Run. What do you think about this feedback, this support here in the Southwest that you've been getting?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I had no doubt. I had no doubt at all. They just needed to see that we were legit, right? That we were a neutral zone, that we had good judging, that we had good referees, that we had solid rules, that this was a true avenue for their fighters to get a legit experience, a real experience that's not going to leave a sour taste in their mouth, right? That it's a neutral zone. They could come out, express their skills. If you're doing the work and you're putting in the work, we're going to see it in there. And yeah, man, we've been. I think just the support is starting to come in. It's overwhelming. We love it. We're growing. Man, let's have a good show. Let's have a great time, right? Let's have a great time. Tickets, yeah. Guys, that's why he's the man. I never mentioned tickets or nothing. You know what I mean? Tickets, yeah, no problem. Now's the time to get them. $15 pre-ticket sale. Contact your fighters. You know what I mean? Contact your fighters. Well, who's on the fight card? We're constantly posting it on our Facebook page, the Nowhere to Run page. It's on my personal St. Nick page. He's posted the fight card on Cage Mind. So the fight card is out there. Just call, you know, any gym in New Mexico, and they probably got fighters and tickets for you. Support your local fighters. Support your favorite ones. And yeah, man, we're just taking care of everybody. You know what I mean? It's awesome. It really, really is. We're having a good time.
Saturday night, 6900 Gonzalez. Doors are at 5. First fight is at 6.
Yes.
Nowhere to Run 3. It's going to be a big night of action. And we don't plan to have any intermission. So get there early. Get your, you know, popcorn, your nachos.
We got food trucks, man. We got food trucks. We're gonna have runners, so you don't have to get up out of your seat and miss the action. We'll have kids running, not kids, you know, teenagers, waiters and waitresses running for you, taking your orders, running it back and forth, so you don't miss any of the action.
We'll see you guys all Saturday night.
Boom. Nowhere to Run, baby. Nowhere to Run 3. Saturday night. Come out, have a good time. Take photos with your favorite fighter. Come out, support everybody, cheer them on. We're gonna have good music, good times, good fights. Come on out. You're not gonna miss a thing, I promise.
Again, you can check out Nowhere to Run 3, some amazing amateur kickboxing action with a special feature grappling match on the Cage Minds Combat Sports News Facebook stream. or Facebook page is where we'll have a live stream going. Or you can join us there live, 6900 Gonzales Road, Southwest, and be there taking the action. See the up-and-coming prospects of tomorrow, today, well, literally coming up here soon. You can see Nowhere to Run 3. It's been a great half hour with you guys. Red Menace, Cage Minds, Power Hour. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to join me Saturday on the Sports Animal, 11 to 1 on the mic with Mike Adams. Thanks for tuning in this week.
To win the race, I can't even explain how, in fact, I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about it. No matter where you go, you're an Indy 500 winner. The only way to be successful in racing is to stay on top of the technical edge, and we've done that with our dealership. So a lot of the technology in our service department and